Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, and we are back at math class for a new topic on probability. Today, we're going to be talking about the fundamental counting principle. Now, that sounds a lot harder than it actually is, okay? Let's look at page 757 in your math book, okay? Page 757. You have looked at several different ways of looking at probability. You can actually test it out. You know, you have a quarter, you flip it how many times. You can make a tree diagram. You can make a chart. There are a lot of different ways. You can actually write out all the possible scenarios. Fundamental counting principle is where we take all of those and actually simplify it. So look at me with the real world link on page 757. Tyler wants to take a class at the community center. The table shows the class options he's considering. All of the classes are offered only on Monday and Tuesday. So you see, he can take a drawing class, he can take a martial arts class, he can take a dance class. So you see, there's 2 days, so he can't do all of them, can he? So if we said, what sort of combination could we do? Well, here's what we could do. How many classes can he take? 3, right? How many days are the classes offered? There's 2. What's 3 times 2? It's 6. Which is the total number of combinations. And we can see that if we make a tree diagram like it is on page 757. If you go ahead and draw the lines out, the tree diagram shows that you have 6 possible combinations. And that's what the fundamental counting principle actually is. Just simply multiplying the possible options together. So go ahead and look with me on page 758, okay? If you look at number 1 on page 758, find the total number of outcomes when a coin is tossed and a number cube is rolled. First things first, let's figure out how many possible options we have. How many possible options are there with a coin? There's 2, right? So we have 2 for heads or tails. How many are on a number cube? Well, there's 6 sides in a cube, so that's 6 possible outcomes. We multiply those together, and we end up with 12 possible outcomes. 12 possible outcomes. Because if you look, basically what your T-chart down there that's explaining it, is that you take your heads and tails, and you combine it with all the possibilities of the number cube. So you go heads and 1, heads and 2, heads and 3, heads and 4, 5, 6, tails and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 possible outcomes. So we can see that when it comes to looking at what's the fundamental counting principle, it's simple multiplication. So take a pause and look at letter A with me. Find the total number of outcomes when choosing from bike helmets that come in 3 colors and 2 different styles. Hopefully you paused the video and tried to work it out, but if there's 3 colors and 2 styles, there are 6 total outcomes when it comes to this probability scenario. Well, let's look and see. We could also use this to find the probability, okay? You can use I'm on page 759 now. You can use the fundamental counting principle to help find the probability of events. Find the total number of outcomes from rolling a number cube with sides labeled 1 through 6 and choosing a letter from the word numbers. Then find the probability of rolling a 6 and choosing an M. Okay? Now, here's how your book lists it. Okay? You have they put 6 times 7 equals 42. Okay? There's 42 possible outcomes, yes. But here's what they're actually asking. So instead of doing it this way, here's how you get the actual answer. Okay? So we look at what's the probability of getting a 6 or the letter M together. Well, there's 6 possible options, so that's 1 out of 6 on the number cube. And then there's 7 letters and numbers. So that's 1 out of 7. We multiply these two fractions, we get a 1 out of 42 chance. That's what we're talking about when we're finding the probability. What out of what? Okay, there's a 1 out of 42 chance that if I roll the cube and pick the number, pick the letter, I would have a 6 and an M together. Okay, really it just comes down to multiplying and looking at what are the options, right? All right. Look at number 3. Find the number of different jeans available at the jeans shop, trendy name. Then find the possibility of randomly selecting a size 32 by 34 slim fit. Is it likely or unlikely that the jeans would be chosen? Okay. Let's go ahead and figure out how many possible outcomes there are. How many sizes are there? Well, we look at the waist size and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 waist sizes, right? Then we look at the lengths. There's 1, 2, 3. Then we look at the fits. There's slim fit, boot cut, and loose fit. That's 3. And we go 5 times 3 times 3. That is 45. 15 times 3 is 45. So there are 45 different types of jeans to choose from. Out of the 45 possible outcomes, only one is favorable, right? Because you need a 32 by 34 slim fit. 1, 1, and 1, right? So that's not just 1 out of 5 or 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 3. It's multiplying all those fractions together. 1/5 times 1/3 times 1/3. Or another way of saying that, you have a 1 out of 45 chance. Okay? 1 out of 45 chance. Let's do B together for our last problem for today. 2 numbers are rolled. What is the probability that the sum of the numbers on the cubes is 12? How likely is that? The sum would be 12. Okay, so out of all, this would be different if we were doing multiplication, right? Because we could do a couple of different combinations. However, there is only one possibility, right? There's only one possibility. We have to roll a 6 each time, don't we? So there's 1 out of 6 times 1 out of 6 equals 1 out of 36 chance. 1 out of 36 chance. Okay. Hopefully that's making sense for you guys. However, if not, make sure you're asking questions down in comments below. Also, today, in lieu of an assignment, what I'm actually going to put on Google Classroom is I'm going to put the quiz for the midpoint of Chapter 9. This will be our last quiz of the school year, okay? I know, sad day. But what I want you to do, I want you to do the quiz and turn it in, and I'm going to let you guys do that all this week, okay? So you have until Saturday to turn that in. All right? Hey, I hope you guys have a great day. Get outside before it rains again and have a great Monday. Bye.